All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Angelo Carlos podcast. I'm here with Claire Rodriguez. She is actually an undergrad at UC San Diego, one of the top business schools here in California. So very excited to have her on board. Claire, welcome to the podcast. And before we start, just want everyone to know that this podcast is sponsored by the Silicon Buddy, aka our newsletter for the Angelo Carlos podcast. Very excited to have that kind of to distribute the media, distribute the marketing. And Claire, thank you so much for jumping on the podcast. How's your day so far?
Good. No, thank you for having me. It's definitely something I've been wanting to do. I see you post all these podcasts, so thanks for having me. I'm doing good. Introduce myself.
Yeah, why don't you tell us a bit about yourself? Where are you from? Where do you go to undergrad? And just a little bit about yourself. Any fun facts about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm originally from Long Beach, California. Go Long Beach. I'm a fourth-year student at UC San Diego studying international business. I have one more quarter left, which is awesome. I'm also going to Spain technically in the summer, and I'm still going to be a student here, but I'm going to walk in June. And yeah, that's a little bit about me. I love working out. I love baking. I love hanging out with friends, and recently got into house music, so on top of that.
That is super cool. Yeah, I know you're a big fitness head. You love house. You're kind of into house music right now.
Yeah, that's how we met. We met at the gym.
Yeah, we met at the gym. Claire was super fit. And I was like, all right, this person's super fit, needs some fitness advice. So we just chatted it up. And then one of the cooler people at the gym, super friendly. So maybe Claire would get into some fitness stuff before the podcast ends towards the end. So that should be pretty fun. So you said you're from Long Beach, California. What brought you to San Diego? How did you pick UCSD?
Okay, it was not my first choice, to be honest. UC San Diego is definitely a STEM school. I'm international business, but I mainly chose this school because of financial means. It was the best offer I got, and I love San Diego. I've been here multiple times. Right by the beach, it's La Jolla. You can't go wrong with La Jolla. So that definitely led me to choosing UC San Diego. It has had its up and downs, definitely, because the school's different than a lot of other colleges, I would say. What I expected is not what I got, but definitely adjusted, learned, and now I'm thriving.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's awesome. So when Claire and I were speaking, she actually told me that she was a transfer to UC San Diego. She went the whole junior college route. And a lot of us too, actually, we kind of go through that JC route to just basically kind of figure out what we want to do and what major to pick. So Claire, I know you told me earlier you did the 2 years at community college. How was that like? And then do you have any advice on how to excel in that route? Because you did get into some top universities once you switched over from JC.
Yeah. So I love JC mainly because you could get through your classes easy breezy. You could manage, social life, work, and still get good grades. That's what I really liked about JC. Also, it's cheaper, obviously. My experience there was different because it was during COVID. So a lot of the classes were online. I did meet a few friends, but like I said, my mindset in JC was let me get all my work done, do well so that I can perform well and execute well when I apply to other universities. So I didn't think too much of let me make a network here, let me find a community. It was pretty close to where I live. I would say maybe like 10, 15 minutes where I live. But yeah, no, I enjoyed JC. I do think, though, if I had to give advice to students going from JC to specifically UC, University of California, I would say, keep constant track of what you're doing and to keep pushing yourself, because JC is a bit easier than what you would be having at a university, because the classes are much faster considering the fact that it's on a quarter system where a JC is on a semester. And also the teachers are so kind, loving, lenient in JCs. And when I came here, I was a little bit taken aback because professors, it really sucks to say, but a lot of them don't care if you're like struggling. If you can't keep up, that's your problem. You need to figure out how you can keep up with the class. They're not going to slow down. They're not going to treat you like, you know, obviously not like a kid, but in JC, I felt more assisted. I felt like they cared for me. I felt like they wanted me to succeed. And I feel like a lot of the professors here, it's really hard to get that same feeling.
No, I agree with you there. I think I experienced similar things at UCLA too. I think the sentiment is that the UC schools are heavily research based, right? So a
Right.
majority of the professors, right, their income or the way they perform is based on their research, getting those grants. So it seems as if kind of like the teaching aspect is more kind of on the side or the back burner as opposed to the research that they're publishing. And I felt similar at UCLA where I would struggle and I felt like the professor was like, yours like there's like 500 of you. Good luck, buddy. Try and figure it out. So I completely agree with you there. When you're in JC, did you select a major? And then what schools were you looking at when you were looking to transfer out?
Right. So initially, I wanted to go into CS or computer science. And I took 3 classes in JC. And after I took that third one, I was like, is this really something I want to do? Because
Yeah.
it was so hard, that third class. And I really dislike math. It's not my best subject. And when I get it, I'm so happy. I'm like, I feel like the smartest person, you know?
hmm
But you don't, it's like, oh my confidence, it's like deteriorating. I have no motivation, and I'm like, am I even, I question myself sometimes. So I try to stay away from really difficult math. But um I what was the question again? Sorry.
Oh yeah, yeah. So what did you major in
Okay,
in
okay,
college?
so I ended up switching from CS to business, and the
Mhm.
colleges I applied to were Cal State Long Beach, Loyola Marymount, which is a private university, USC, UCLA, UC Berkeley, UC San Diego, and a few other Cal States. Um, but yeah, so again, I wanted to do CS, realized that this was not the path I wanted to take because when you go into your major, when you go into your major, you have to really know what you love, what you want. And that's not what I loved or wanted. It's something I thought, what will make me money? What will I be successful in? And the thing is, like, those majors don't determine your success. You determine your own success. Is what you do at the end of the day. Are you happy doing it? That's success to me, and that's what led me to doing business. Because I love innovation. I love entrepreneurship. Definitely something that just I had a close connection with. So decided business, and yeah, and then UC San Diego specifically. So there's 2 majors. There's business econ and there's international business. I chose international business because I thought foreign exchange would be really awesome to learn about. You know, learning how um, other countries do business, how they exchange. I really am into supply chain and knowing how, things go from one place to another. It's like, whoa, how does that even happen? But yeah, so international business is definitely something that I resonate with in terms of I'm really interested in it and it's something I really want to contribute to. So that is why I chose international business.
Yeah, no, that's pretty cool. A lot of great things you hit there with regards to kind of like your major, what you decide to do with your career, right? It's hard to wake up every day going to class and taking these classes that you genuinely don't enjoy, right? Like if you're gonna go into your CS class and you're learning about Java, Python, and you're like, oh my God, I hate this. Why would you feel like you'd be successful in your career, right? And I'm glad you selected business, right? I think it's a very good major, jack of kind of like all trades, and most people they speak that business language when you end up getting into that corporate environment. And you mentioned you want to do supply chain. I was doing supply chain at like my previous team at Google, and I learned a lot about just a lot of business lingo, how you get certain things for hardware shipped to different manufacturers. And I think business is a good transition for that, especially if you get into that supply chain career or if you get into
Right.
business in a corporate environment once you get out. So props to you for picking that. With regards to your time after community college, right?
Yeah.
Where did you get into for your 4-year university? And can you talk about any scholarships you got?
Yes, I got no scholarships. I did get financial aid, which is such a clutch, but the colleges I got into, obviously UC San Diego, I got into Loyola Marymount, I got into Cal State Long Beach, I got into USC. Um, I know there were a few more. I think they're the Cal States, but I know obviously I didn't get into UCLA or UCB, but
Those are
all I
great
knew
schools.
good. Yeah. And what was I gonna say? That I came into this also knowing that I was gonna have to pay my own tuition. Um, since I was 16, I was just always very conscious of I want to go to college. I know I'm gonna have to pay out of my own pocket because my parents can't help me. And as soon as I started working at the age of 16, majority of my paychecks would go to my savings for college. And I had friends who when we all start working, everyone's like, "Oh my god, first paycheck, I'm going to spend it on this, nails, I'm going to spend it on makeup, shoes, clothes." That was not me. I was like, nope, going into my funds for college, going into my funds for college. I only really spent what I needed, which is groceries, gas, the things, the necessities. So I had to think what would be best for me, because USC was my dream school. When I got accepted, I was, my heart dropped. I was like, what? When I applied, I was like, what am I doing? Who do I think I am applying to USC? The process was really fun and interesting, the application process. And yeah, when I got accepted, obviously I had to wait for my financial aid package. And when I saw that, I mean, don't get me wrong, I was still getting a good amount of aid. To people who don't get aid at all, they would be like, hallelujah, send me to USC. But my story is different. I just couldn't do it. And I was so sad. I was like, really, it was really unfortunate to know that I couldn't go to a college because of my financial means. Even with the amount I've saved, I knew that this was not the right route because I don't want to be a person who graduates in debt. And I know a lot of people do, which, that's totally fine. I just don't have that support behind me with my family to, like, hey, can you loan me this? I'm struggling to pay off this debt. I can't do that. So I just thought, UC San Diego is a beautiful school. I will get adjusted and I will love it. Um, and here I am today, almost done. Don't exactly love it, but I'm not complaining.
Yeah, well, I'm very proud of you for the journey you've taken, right? Really having to just kind of make your own way to college, pay for your own tuition, right? A lot of people don't really, especially a lot of people don't really face that issue kind of growing up, but you knew that, hey, I'm going to have to take this head on and I'm going to make it happen no matter what. So I'm very proud of you for doing that. I was in a similar situation too. For undergrad, I had to pay for the UC fees, and then for grad school too, it's like another big chunk of money, right? Yeah, coming from, I think you and I are both were like first gen, I believe, right? First generation family. They come to America for us to live that American dream, and then we just got to figure it out. But the fact that you had the basically the wherewithal to do that and make yourself figure it out, I know everything's going to work out. So don't ever feel like you're alone. I made it happen. I know you can make it happen too. Always here to help you out if you ever need any advice. But very proud of you for doing that. So you picked UC San Diego because of that great financial aid package. I would have done the same. There's so many people I've met at REMAC who are here at UCSD because they got the full ride or because they got great financial aid. So you're not alone there. And been like, and how are you liking it so far?
Right. Yeah. So I'm currently a promoter at Nova and Bloom nightclub. They're like the hottest new bars, or not bars, clubs in San Diego. And I originally applied as a college affiliate intern. And when I got an email back, I was like, whoa, because it's owned by Insomniac, and
Yeah,
Insomniac
it's
is a
honestly.
huge company, and I love house music. So this was like my dream, my dream come true right now. But yeah, I unfortunately got told that that position as an intern got held off because they had to go through a lot of these rules, regulations to follow in order for college students to be a part of this program.
Mm.
So right now, I am just a promoter for Bloom and Nova, and I do get some perks here and there. But I was also given an internship with one of the artist license who I was working under.
Oh,
When
congrats.
yeah, thank you. When he when I got hired as the college affiliate intern, and he told me that they had put a hold or stop to it. He told me he felt bad because he knew how much I really wanted the position. And he told me that he had a friend who had a small business, a beef jerky business.
Oh, that's so cool.
Like, okay, interesting. And he told me that he needed help in marketing, other areas in business. And I was like, okay, I'm down for that. Then he ended up telling me, like, giving me way more information about this company. It's called High Ground Beef Chips. Now they're beef chips, not beef jerky. They switched over, but it is a small company. I just started working for them like 2 weeks ago. Um, and so far, it's been really cool. I've been creating a social media content for them, monitoring their social media inboxes, and also monitoring their Microsoft email inboxes. So I'm kind of like their marketing analyst slash, and I don't know what you would call it, but I'm technically like managing their social medias and their inboxes right now.
Oh, that's awesome. I think that's an amazing experience, right? No matter where you are, right? Because when you're in college, right, everyone's fighting for jobs, fighting for internships, right? And early on in your career, you just want to do everything you can, right? And being me working in the Silicon Valley, I've realized that most companies, they focus on the product, engineering, all that stuff, right? And they also really focus on the marketing because if you have great marketing, you're able to get your product, whatever it may be, to your end consumer, your customer. So the fact that you're learning marketing, business at this startup, it's really great, right? So take everything you can there, and then when you do graduate and you say you stay there or you say you want to go find like another company, you have that treasure chest of work experience that you can bring to the interviews now that most people won't have because they haven't worked in internship, they haven't worked in jobs like yourself. So I think that's an amazing experience, and just take it for what it is, and I think you'll do great.
Yeah, right. Thank you. It not gonna lie, it's been a journey with applying to internships and even just applying to regular jobs in general. We do have Handshake, which is like an app or online platform. Does UCLA have that too, or is it for all UCs? Or
Yeah, Handshake is huge. It's like a lot of the universities, they have Handshake, which is like your internship platform. I've had friends get jobs through Handshake. I also have friends who actually work at Handshake in San Francisco.
got it.
They're going through hyper growth right now, and they've actually hit a lot of schools now. So if you want to talk about a little Handshake for our viewers, what is that?
Well, for me, it has been a platform that I've applied to so many jobs and internships for, and have only scored one. But the thing is I hear too many times that you just got to keep applying. Apply to 100, you'll hear back from one, and hearing that, it's like, okay, you're not the only one. There's a lot of people going through this, but it's a struggle. It kind of like makes you feel like, what more could I be doing? How can I make myself better? How can I make myself different from other people? But it's like when you don't have experience, you can't do much. Or, they want prior experience within that field. And when you don't have experience in that field, you feel kind of, you're like, I need a call for help. So I really got lucky, I feel like, with this internship, and I'm grateful for this guy who I'm working under the artist license at Nova, who, he knew how bad I wanted it. Obviously, I, said some things to him that made him feel that like he would he should give me this position to work with one of his friends. So it's been a tough road, and I would, to give any advice to people who are applying to, internships, jobs in general, I think your best bet is once you do get a interview, really just being yourself and telling them who you are. Don't lie, don't fake it, because I think first impression is such a big thing. When you meet someone, it's not like, okay, tell me all your skills, tell me all of this. It's like I feel like a lot of people want to get to actually know you, and once they get to know you, you can kind of break down their walls and really make a connection with them. And once you make a connection with them, they'll feel more willing to bring you in my opinion, or, give you a hand. That's how I feel.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, Claire. Especially when you interview for a job, right? At the end of the day, the person you're interviewing has to be like, of course, right, know what they're doing, technically like capable to do the job, but 90% of it too is that, do I enjoy working with this person? They'll be next to me for most of the day. Can I see myself doing well with them and excelling, right? So that's some great advice you have for our viewers, is to just really be yourself, and really do your best to get along and establish that relationship with that interviewer. Right. And you touched upon the job process. How am I supposed to get a job if you want experience? How am I going to get experience if I don't have a job, right? The good thing with you now is that you do have that Nova experience under your belt. You do have that startup experience under your belt as well. And when you do your resume now, people will see that, okay, she has the aptitude to excel in these roles, so she can do well on these other roles that we may have for you, right? So that's a good thing with you. You had great networking skills to land these roles. So great job there.
Thank you. Yeah, as long as you get that one, just do well in that one internship that you get, and that can take you so much further.
Agreed. That's 100% true. So proud of you for that, Claire. I want to ask you now what your plans are for graduation. I know everyone's life changes like in a blink, right? So do you plan on kind of going to grad school? Do you plan on staying at this role, applying to go to corporate? What does future Claire have in mind? And what are your thoughts?
Okay, so I have thought about grad school, and I was actually in the process of applying, and I needed to get letters of recs. And you even told me you could write me a letter of recs.
Yeah, let me know. I got you.
And I did the whole application, and as soon as I was going to press submit, I stopped myself. And the reason why I stopped myself is because I asked myself, is this something I really want? School's not easy. For some people it is. It's not that easy for me. I do love my major. I love everything that it's about, but how much further do I want to push myself is what I asked. And do I see myself being successful? Oh, dang, sorry, the light.
Oh, you're good.
Do I see myself being successful without these 2 extra years in getting my MBA? And, it took me a while, but I told myself I'm going to give myself a little break, because I am going to study abroad in the summer, but I'm basically taking classes that I want, like elective classes, because by the time I study abroad in the summer, I'll be done with all my major classes. I will have walked with my class in June. I'm just not petitioning to graduate, so I'm just not writing it on paper yet. And then when I come back from studying abroad, that is when I will petition. But yeah, so I thought about it, and I said, you know what? Just give myself time. I don't know where I'm going to be in a year from now. I don't know where I'm going to be in 2 years from now. But as long as I keep pushing myself, I can see something good coming of it. And, in that time, if I really do want to come back to school and further my education, then I will. I don't think there's anything bad about taking a break and then coming back to something, because you put your heart, sweat, and tears into school for 4 years, and that's already very, tiring. Some people have that motivation to keep going, and I give props to them, but is this something I really wanted? I wasn't sure. So that is why I did not press that submit button. And I was like, dang, I did this whole application. I wrote like my letter that I needed to, explaining everything I had. But anyway, that is.
I think that's great because you said you mentioned an MBA, right? Most people, right, if it's like a 1 year master's, they'll go straight out of undergrad, right?
Mhm.
But I've noticed like for the MBAs I've like worked with, right, or at UCLA, who have worked for a year or two and came back. There's even some who came back after 10 years, or some people who came back after like a longer time, right? Because it's a huge mix. Once you get to grad school, it's just a mix of people, right? And the people who went to the professional workforce and learned a lot being in industry, they are able to really digest the content more and relate more to the case studies that you do, because business school is heavily case study and it's heavily group projects, because in the workforce it's all working with other people in a group and then like learning about case studies for businesses, right? So I've worked with people fresh out of undergrad, straight after one, like didn't even go to work for a year or two, and they're just kind of like lost. This is all conceptual to them. But I have worked with people who at UCLA who were like one of the founding engineers at Instagram, right? And he was like there doing the acquisition when Zuck acquired Instagram, and they know so much. And then I've worked with people who like help basically found Shopify, right? Stuff like that. And they come back and they know so much, and it's crazy. And I have people who are doctors who got their MD at like UCLA or UCSF and then came back to do an MBA, right? And they know so much, right? So I think you're making the right move by working and then maybe going back to the master's if that's what you end up pursuing. And you're being very honest with yourself, right? A lot of times, most first generation families, like I guess mine, like they always pressure you to go back to school so quickly to get your master's because they want you to succeed, right? Their hopes and dreams are under your arms, right? But I think you're doing the right thing by kind of figuring out what you want to do and getting to that professional workforce. So props to you, Claire.
Thank you. And I was going to add something. I feel like applying yourself in the real world is so much more important too, because we had discussed, like UCSD is a research-based school. And I think all UCs are, right? Or am I wrong?
All UCs.
Yeah. And
all UCs are really research.
I think are more applied.
I think so too, yeah.
But I feel like when you're in business, it's so much more about applying than learning the concept, because you could learn all these terms and not know how to apply them in the real world. I feel like this school teaches you so many things, but we never really get to use them because in class we're just learning information. So I think that's also another reason why I chose not to move forward with grad school, because I want to try to apply myself with as much as I learned in these 4 years into the real world.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. I agree with you too, right? Where a lot of what you learn at school is extremely conceptual compared to what you do in the business world. I think we mentioned before, like one of the tasks I had to do at Google was I had to negotiate for a data center in a foreign country and learn about their government and how to get like approval for Alphabet, right? They do not teach that at school anywhere. So it's like, where am I supposed to learn this? But I think at school, like those concepts are great, but the soft skills you get from learning with people and building that network of individuals who are similar to yourself, that's like a huge value of school. So I completely agree with you there, right? Get in that workforce, realize what really business is, and excel it and do what you can. So I appreciate that. We're kind of coming into the end of the podcast, so I'm very cognizant of your time. So you had some amazing advice for everyone, right? I want you to think back to Claire in high school or in Claire in junior college. What's one piece of advice you would give to your younger self?
I would say to stop comparing yourself to other people, because that's really only going to delay you to the progress you want to make. I always saw myself as like, wow, I can't afford to go to a university right out of high school. I don't even know if I'm smart enough, and I'm comparing myself to all these people, and I don't realize how much or how different their lives are from mine. We all go through struggles. We're all very different, but I feel like what's important is to focus on yourself rather than seeing what other people are doing, because the more you compare yourself, the more you're going to think, like, question your own, progress, your own values, and a lot of other things. It can kind of get into your head. But as long as you're putting in the effort, even if it's just a little progress, that's still something. But just try not to see yourself or put yourself in their shoes. Like, it's hard to not do it. It's hard not to do it, but it's only gonna, like I said, delay your progress.
Oh, that's nice. Don't compare yourself to others, right? Completely agree. We're all in different chapters of our life, different chapters of our book. And sometimes it's hard because of social media. Everyone's just posting their highlights, especially like on Instagram, on whatever social media platform everyone's using. And you don't see all the crap that people went through. It's all these like great highlights. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know what they're going through. They could display like they're having this amazing life, doing great things, and you really don't know what's going on the inside, So they could, it's not a good thing to do. I don't know. Sometimes social media is really hard because, you see, again, people from high school, people, just whoever, like, wow, they're doing so well. Look at them thriving. They're living on their own. They probably make this much money. Stop that nonsense. Work on yourself. Do something that will better yourself. It doesn't even have to be like technical. Like, you could literally just learn how to sew, learn how to play the piano, learn a new language. It's the small things that help you progress in life when you stop comparing yourself to other people.
That's beautiful. Yeah, the small things, the progression in life, right? Just learning new skills, learning whatever makes you happy, new hobbies, and that will kind of progress you, make you a lot happier. Mm-hmm. I know we are coming up on the end, but we did mention this in the beginning. I wanted to ask you about fitness, right? A lot of people during COVID, we kind of let ourselves go, or we kind of like we're in the house a lot. And when we got back to the real world, we kind of like, some may have like lost it. Any tips and fitness advice? I know you're an avid gym goer. For someone who's just starting out, what advice do you have for them? How to get fit? How to get healthy?
To be honest, it's really hard to take that step into the gym, or even just that step outside of your house to get in your car to go to the gym. I've kind of created this little party. I don't even know what you would call it, like a pregame. So when I'm at home about to go to the gym, I put on my speaker, I listen to a few jams, I take my pre-workout, which I'm not taking right now because I gave it up for Lent.
Oh, that's good. That's a good one.
I with caffeine, so I can't do anything. No teas, no coffee, no pre-workout, no energy drinks. But
oh wow, that's a hard one.
It's hard, but anyway, just putting some jams, your favorite songs that get you pumped up for the gym, putting on a cute fit, making yourself feel cute and snatched and like you're the baddest bitch. And then you get pumped up with all of that energy. Just take yourself to the gym. I feel like that's the first step. Like, it's the first step that you do. No, the first step is the most important step in my opinion, because that sets you up for success. But I also think I was in cheer at a very young age, at like 8, 9 years old. And I kid you not, my coaches, oh my gosh, they made us do crazy stuff. Like, I can't remember exactly what, but they trained us. I felt like football players, like ran back, burpees, like for 5 minutes, we needed to be strong because some of us were flyers, some of us were bases. I don't even know anymore, but we needed to be strong in general too. But I felt like they were a little too hard on us. But I think that's what helped also push me to want to go to the gym, because the way they were hard on us, it felt kind of motivating. It was like, okay, I have to keep going because they're staring at me. But they also kind of want the best for you. So I think that's what pushed me to also be a gym rat. The coaches I had when I was younger. And then I think just as time goes on, you really start to feel connected to the gym. You definitely feel motivated at first because of physical reasons. You want to look good in front of other people. But once you get into the groove of the gym, you realize it's so much more than that. It's for your mental health, it's for your well being, it's for so many different reasons. So once you get into that groove, you need to realize that the physical aspect is it's trash. Not trash, but there's so much more than that. And I think that's where I'm at right now. I just realize how much it has contributed or positively affected my mental health. And I love the gym. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. No, that's some great advice, right? It's so good for your mental health, right? So, and you feel good, you look good when you go in, and you just gotta do it, right? And it's benefited your life so much, and it's kind of become like a part of it. So I appreciate that advice for everyone. Well, Claire, with that being said, we're up on time now. I want to just say thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Very excited to see where your career is going. You have your head on straight. You have a whole bunch of great experiences you're doing now, your senior year. And I think you're going to inspire a lot of people with this podcast episode with your journey from coming from community college, paying for your own college, learning business, and then going to a top university like UC San Diego. So appreciate the wisdom, the advice you shared with everyone. And we just want to say thank you. And thank you so much for coming to the podcast.
Thank you, Angelo. And if anyone has questions about UCSD, please come to me. I can try my best to help you. I know the school pretty well now, and I feel like I could honestly be a mentor sometimes. But yeah,
Claire's an amazing mentor. Of course. So we'll include Claire's Instagram down below in the description of the YouTube video. So feel free to check it out. Go follow her on IG, and feel free to reach out. She's one of the smartest, kindest people you can ever meet and speak with, and is a great asset and resource to be with. So Claire, I appreciate you. Jello family, thank you so much for watching the podcast. Please like, comment, subscribe. We will keep on continuing to grow the channel. We are officially part of the YouTube program, so very excited. Thank you guys so much for that growth. It's been a grind, but we did it. And I'll catch you later, Jello family. Claire, thank you so much.
Thank you. So, bye.